I want to bring in Gene Munster to this conversation right now, founder and managing partner at Loup Ventures. Good morning to you. You hear this news, stock sells off a little bit. Does this concern you? How does this change the game?
It really does. I think Josh's setup was spot on there, Andrew, is that this has been in the works since 2015. So I think investors should feel comfortable that the design kind of expertise of Apple is in great shape here. Nothing essentially changes.
Nothing changes. So when you think of it, and is that because you think that he just hasn't really been involved over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think so. I think that this team, the core three people, have been essentially doing the design for the 3 years. So effectively, investors should feel confident that the design roadmap is intact.
Okay, so I have maybe I don't know, it's a curveball or something controversial to say. What if I told you that the design of Apple devices over the last 2 or 3 years actually hasn't been as aesthetically pure as some of the earlier products?
My sense is that I think if you look back at the watch, I think that is a step ahead of anything else in wearables. I mean, the watch went from essentially no market share a few years late to the game to having, call it 75% of the wearable share. One of the pieces that gets missed in this whole conversation about design is these new paradigms, these new shifts ultimately take several years to fold out. And this next wave, I think the true test about design is not about what happened 5 years ago, but about what the next waves are going to be, and specifically around wearables, around potentially transportation, around healthcare. There's some massive opportunities. So the easy, I think, fallback position is that Apple has not been innovating around hardware. But I think that the true test of this is going to be what happens with this next wave. I just want to emphasize one other point, Andrew, is that when you look at the investment that Apple is making in hardware, it's really unprecedented compared to other tech companies. For example, we went through the last two conferences, WWDC
right,
and Google I/O. They had 300 sessions between those two. 15% of Apple sessions were dedicated to hardware and only 1% of Google. So I think that this idea that innovation is, or design is not a core feature of Apple is simply misplaced.
And what is your expectation then for the future? What are the 2 or 3 things you're looking for? You know, most people are now, I don't want to claim that they look at Apple as a value stock with Warren Buffett and everybody else in the stock, but what is the thing that you think is the future of this company?
So I think there's two phases to this. This current phase is going to be around services. There's been a lot talked about that. I think the next phase is going to be around, we talked about wearables, hearables. I think you're going to see more products in the next year related to that. I was dead wrong on Apple as a TV. It was a painful lesson for me about what products are in development doesn't necessarily see the light of day. But I do believe that what Apple is working around glasses, specifically, Andrew, is an area, augmented reality glasses, and then ultimately what they're pulling this string with an auto, I think, is an opportunity. You
just said hearables, and I'm gonna. I mean, everyone probably knows this is this is literally my favorite product in the world right now. The AirPods, which make you look a little dorky when you put them in. But I don't know if Jony was responsible for the design of these, but it's something. What do you think hearables is going to look like? So this, I just want to do a quick recap of 7th grade biology here, is that hearables has a great opportunity around healthcare, and specifically is your inner ear, the skin is actually thin. It's great for picking up biomarkers like blood pressure. So I think what you're going to see around hearables is more around healthcare, surprisingly. And so think about AirPods that actually insert a little bit further into your ear. And why that's important and why I believe that is that this product has not only been a success, but obviously Apple's comments around healthcare. And so I think you're going to see more around that, more around using voice with hearables too. They're taking away some of the friction. For those of you who use AirPods and use your voice, it's sometimes clumsy, but there's opportunities around making that more seamless. And so haven't we been waiting, though, for the voice thing? We've been all waiting for Siri to really understand this for a very long time. Why are you more convinced now that they're on their way? And I will tell you, having used the Google products, at least on voice, they seem to be ahead of the game.
But I need different sizes. Is that Jony Ive's fault? Why can't there be a small, medium, and large AirPod? Because my blood pressure will be 0 because it doesn't stay in my ear. So, I mean, it's not going to work for me, Gene. Do you have any problem?
I don't. Let me just quickly talk about voice. This is something that we track closely. Every 6 months, we ask each of the major ones 800 questions, and we've seen Siri go from call it getting 60% of them right up to it's almost 75% correct. In our most recent survey, we're going to do another one in a month. You're exactly right, Andrew, is that Google just crushes this. They get almost 90%, 87% of the questions right. Google has a distinct advantage in voice, but the reason why I think there's room for Apple to advance around this is they're clearly making progress. They've had some hires, obviously, around AI from Google, which I think helps around voice. And then, Joe, to your comment about these AirPods not fitting in your ear, it's about 20% of people have that problem.